I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. I'm happy for it. Every single year we're at Cardinals training camp. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that this is absolutely your favorite player.
I nailed the pick in the second round. I knew they were choosing him. It's truth. It's truth.
It's your guy. It's your guy.
Space Needle, Brock Heward, Seattle,
Yep.
and the fact that I predicted the day before that they were going to take Budda in the second round, and they did. I nailed the pick. Go back and look at the Twitter timeline. I nailed the pick.
I knew that when we were coming to Cardinals training camp, we were going to be joined by Budda Baker, the great Budda Baker, joining us here from our broadcast location at Cardinals training camp. As always, it is great to see you, man. You look great.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Thank you. Great to see you guys too.
Good
Doing
to see
great.
you.
Doing
Good.
great.
All right, I'm going to ask one question and one question only, and we're going to move on. I want to ask you how frustrating you were when you got to the point of maybe asking for a trade and a different type contract. Did you ever come close to following through on saying, I want to be traded?
Yeah, I mean, personally for me, I kind of just let my agent handle all that type of stuff. You guys, there's so many things on social media that people will post, but at the end of the day, it was kind of a lot of opinions and, things that weren't really that true. So for me personally, I just let my agent handle it. I just, put my head down, grinded in the weight room, and, knew I was going to be here.
You knew you were going to be here.
Yeah.
What was your sense of relief when it was over?
Oh, man, it was definitely great. It was definitely awesome just to have it be over. But at the end of the day, for me, my mind was I had tunnel vision. Just, last year I fractured my shoulder when we played Tampa Bay in Christmas game, so I missed those last 2 weeks. So, of course, my main goal was to get my shoulder as strong as possible so I can be healthy and even better the next year. So that was my whole mind this whole off season.
Most of us think that it's going to be a little bit of a rebuild. A lot of guys are gone. Even guys from your defense are gone. I mean, Byron Murphy's gone, and Cam's gone. Zach Allen's gone. And when you look at this team, do you feel like you guys are a few years away, or do you feel like you can compete right now?
Yeah, it's a new team, just like you said, new players, but, new coaching staff, new offensive system, new defensive system. Jeff Rogers has been doing great with the special teams. So at the end of the day, for me, I've been taking it one day at a time. And, I know that we're going to be able to compete. But at the end of the day, you kind of just got to let the outside noise be the outside noise. And the only thing that matters is within the huddle, within the teammates, and just getting better each and every day.
What has impressed you about this new coaching staff? What have you taken from them so far in your time around them?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things. The intricate details they preach. The culture that they want here. It's, it's something that I've always, wanted it to be as a team, wanted it to be, as a player. So just being able to hear, the coaches say certain things, or, something as small as wearing Cardinal gear in the meeting rooms, or, not being late to any meetings. 30 seconds late, you'll be fined. And that's just something that, should always be there as an NFL team. We're professionals, so we should just keep it professional, and that's what they do. So it's very exciting. Very excited for this year.
All right, you were the star of Hard Knocks. You were the star.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
You were the star. Did you go back and look at it after it was done when they were airing it? Did you watch it?
I watched a few episodes, but at the end of the day, for me, I was kind of just not happy with the season, not happy with, how things were going. So I kind of just tried to hone in on my playbook, hone in on things that I can do better as a player at the end of the day. So that's kind of what my main focus was during the season last year.
I'm curious your thoughts to when, you went off. You were so angry losing home games, and you had that locker room tirade where you were very angry, and you were letting everybody know we got to play better, we got to prepare better, we got to work better, we got to do everything. When you went back and looked at that, I mean, that's you. That's true emotion. That's who you are. What did you think of that?
Yeah, of course. That was exactly true emotion at the time. Didn't know that the cameras were going to be in there, because at the time it was we thought week 7 was when they were going to be coming in. So at that time it wasn't week 7 yet. So it was kind of, for me personally, I was just angry with the game. I think we played the Eagles, and it was a game that we could have won. And just little intricate details that we were messing up, and things we could have done better as a group. And at the time, I just kind of let it all out and let them understand that, we're not going to win games if we're not putting the work in. So, that was kind of just my one little spiel.
But it went viral. I mean, everybody was talking about it. So would you have done anything different if you knew that was going to make the cut on Hard Knocks?
I'll say no.
I mean, at the end of the day, probably not, because who I am is who I
Yeah,
am. I'm not a
yeah.
person that's able to fake things. So if I feel a certain way, I'm going to express that thing. I'm not one of those big, rah-rah guys in the meetings and stuff like that. But if something that I don't like in my heart is there, then that's something I'm going to preach and express.
You had Budda Baker joining us here on the Burns and Gambo show. A minute ago, you talked about this is the kind of discipline I want. This is the kind of culture I want. Did you feel like that had kind of slipped away from you guys the last couple of years? And if this is the version of a culture that you want to be a part of, did it get away from you guys a little bit the last couple of years?
I mean, at the end of the day, it was, we're totally different coaching staffs, totally different coaches. You have a coaching staff in last year with Cliff Kingsbury, where he's the OC and the head coach, and Vance Joseph, who's a seasoned a veteran coach, and this year it's kind of JG's first year at being a head coach, and you got guys like Nick Rallis, first time being a DC, kind of younger, so it's totally different to say that. So for me personally, I can appreciate both coaching staffs and how they both operate. And, with this team, with the players that we have in this team, it's a younger team, I can appreciate the way that our coaches are coaching, because they kind of have to understand what it's like to be in this league.
What were you thinking? JJ retires. Nothing you can do about that. That happens. What are you thinking as free agency's going by and Byron leaves and Zach Allen leaves? Young players who are good players and contributors. In your mind, are you concerned at that point?
I mean, at the end of the day, of course, Byron Murphy's, that's like my little brother. So, of course, I wanted him to be here. He's from here. We went to college together. So, of course, I would want my guy to be here. Zach Allen was a great player as well, a guy who was continuing to get better, very hard worker. But at the end of the day, you have to trust in the system and trust in the coaching staff and trust in the office. So, at the end of the day, for me, my job is to first and foremost play football at a high level, be the person that I am, and then also, work with my teammates after that.
We talked about the importance of keeping you, to me, and to a lot of people, was just leading by example. You lead by example with the way you play, the way you carry yourself, the way you practice, the way you prepare, the way you speak to people, your relationships even with us in the media. How much of that can rub off on these younger players? How much of you do you want to have rub off on these young players?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a matter of being who I am first and foremost, and for young players, if they want to jump aboard, they're totally fine too. But if not, I mean, they're totally fine too as well. So, something that I've always been talked about and coached about was kind of like don't overwater the plants, meaning like if you're trying to help someone who doesn't want to be helped, at the end of the day, you're only stressing yourself out, and whatever's going in that person's head is going out the other. So for me, it's a matter of being who I am, first and foremost, and then if rookies or young guys want to talk to me and get any intricate detail, whether it's on the field, off the field, my treatment, the way I work, my food, I'll just give them everything that I know, and it's up to them that if they want to take it or not.
But you're comfortable with that, right? Like, I mean, JG comes in, Monty Ossenfort comes in, and they're all talking about how, man, I wish I had 53 Budda Bakers out there in terms of – are you comfortable being put on that kind of pedestal by your coaching staff? I mean, basically it's an open invitation for people to come to you and say, tell guys how to do stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, between you guys and I, this has been nothing new to me since even Little League. In high school, I was a big lead by example. High school, not really talking much, kind of just led by example. And, coaches continuing to tell me just, talk to your teammates. They want, we need more guys like you. But at the time when I was younger, of course, that's just something I just wanted to play football and, just work and grind. And as the years I've grown up, of course, and, we all grow up and you are able to express things for those guys. So for me, it's nothing new to me. It's kind of been like that my whole life. So, I just take it and continue to run with it. But first and foremost, it's a matter of what I do and, perform on the field and do what I'm supposed to do, because if I'm not doing that, there's no way that, they should look up to me.
Yeah. All right, what was the record against Washington State?
Oh, man, never lost.
Never lost.
Never
Beat him
lost.
every time.
Every time.
See the proud look on Buddha's
sorry.
face when he said that. You can just see it immediately,
Okay,
man.
Washington is going to the Big Ten. The Pac-12 is done.
Yeah.
Your old conference is done.
Yeah.
We don't know where Washington State's going to go, but that rivalry may be done and over. What? Any thought to? Was it even a rivalry?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I was in college for 3 years, and for those 3 years, we beat them by 28 plus every single time, every single year. It was so bad. We even, we're not big talk guys in the media and give them locker or bulletin points. That's what they said back in the day. But at that time, we were just like, look, man, we know what they're doing. They do the same stuff every single year, so we're gonna beat them. And it was so bad, we had Krispy Kreme donuts the day before the game every time we played them.
Because you knew.
Because we knew we were going to beat them.
Wow.
Every single game. And that's the only team that I'll ever, talk bad upon, because at the time they were our rivalry, of course. But
You never had donuts before any other game?
no, we had our coaches brought the Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm talking about 3 or 4, dozens. And we just ate the Krispy Kreme donuts. I mean, of course, we won it because it was throughout the week, however many interceptions or PBUs you get, it was like a crazy number because all they did was pass. So we're like, all right, you guys want to put the game on us? That's fine. And every single year it was 40 plus to 0.
So the thoughts on
Maybe 10.
The thoughts on not having a rivalry with them anymore if it works out that way. Does it matter?
Yeah, I don't think it matters with the Apple Cup. I mean, Eastern Washington, we had a harder game versus Eastern Washington than Washington State. So, I have Jalen Thompson, my little bro, as he went to Washington State. So, of course, my junior year was his freshman year, and he just remembers, being in Pullman, just in the cold, getting his butt whooped. So that's definitely something I always talk smack to him about. We always bet every single year, and every year he makes the bet less and less and less because he knows they'll probably lose.
Buddha, I'm sorry, I tuned you out when you said Krispy Kreme donut because now I'm just thinking about a donut.
I'm
But
sure they'll keep the rivalry going.
Buddha, it was a pleasure as always.
Cool.
Thank you
Pleasure.
for coming by. Thanks for joining us like you do every single year. We appreciate it. Budda Baker joining us here on set in studio as we're live from Cardinals State Farm Stadium.